Joe, check this out. There's anywhere but here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about anywhere but here.
What's anywhere but here? Anywhere but here in Mississippi?
No, man, anywhere but here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere but here podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here this week, episode 36.
36.
We got it right this week.
Nobody pulled us up on it last week, though.
No one noticed.
Like they do normally. Well, we've just pulled ourselves up on it.
We have a website, it's abhpod.com.
We have a YouTube, it's youtube.com/ABHpodcast.
We also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ABHpod.
We have a Twitter, which is at ABHpod.
We do. And we have our own Twitters as well. Yours is.
Hey, it's Ed.
And I'm Hey, it's me, Tom.
Sorry, that made me laugh way too much. You just went straight to it.
Of course, I'm professional.
Yes, on our website, we have an Amazon banner that you should do your Christmas shopping at.
We do.
Because we get
some money off of your purchases.
We also... What else do we have on the website?
We also have a survey in which you can tell us what you like and don't like about the show and how much money you spend and how much money you earn and what on.
We've gone very matter of fact. It sounds like we're in a bad mood.
I know.
It's really weird.
I don't know. There's a strange feeling that's just...
I know. I didn't have it before. And then you just kind of went matter of fact and I'm like... What have I done?
So you can tell us what you like about the show and what you don't like, and we can try and do something about it.
Yeah, and you can do that everywhere. You can also do that on iTunes, really.
You can,
just leave us a rating and a comment. On YouTube, leave us a comment and give us a thumb up and subscribe if you're not. Mm-hmm. On Stitcher, leave comments, and I don't know if they do likes or thumbs up or something, but do their equivalent.
Yeah.
Please.
And share stuff and retweet and things like that, because then we can reach a broader audience. We can reach, we can reach greater heights.
Yes, we can. Apparently. Hopefully.
Well, maybe.
I don't know what to do now.
It's a bit strange, isn't it? Shall we go with some news?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone. I know it's blocking my face, but fuck it. News.
What have you brought to the table this week?
What have I brought to the table?
Yeah.
My iPad. I'm feeling really odd. But, let's start with this, because it is quite important news this week, or last week, or whenever it was. Which week was it? It was posted on the 14th of September. A postgraduate student, I believe he is, has used science to prove gay marriage is wrong.
Use science?
To prove that gay marriage is wrong, an actual scientific study. It's a student in Nigeria called Chib. I'm not going to try it. Bearing in mind this is on the Huffington Post website, so he's proved.
Yes.
This wrong. A student in Nigeria is claiming he can prove gay marriage is wrong through science, and his scientific breakthrough is backed by his university.
Okay.
It's backed by a university. It's in Nigeria. We know how they feel about gay marriage.
The African countries aren't so up with the whole homosexual thing.
No. But the scientist in question, they've got his name, has won he has won awards in his country for reporting on energy science, and he's been featured on various national television stations.
Has he indeed?
Yes, saying he used magnet experiments to prove homosexuality is improper.
Because magnets are the bastions of all truth.
Yes. Yeah. Can you? Have you got any idea how he can use magnets? What do magnets do?
They attract metal.
Okay, now if you've got two magnets...
Yes. They repel each other, or they stick together.
And when do they stick together?
Oh, no! Is this like the whole positive and negative thing?
It's exactly
so
that.
Women are positive and men are negative or something?
Yeah.
And...
Two negatives.
Oh, my
repel
God!
So the two negatives, basically, it is the opposing ends attract each other, but the same ends repel each other. So he has taken the fact that like two positives on a magnet repelling each other is like two men repelling each other, and that proves that gay marriage, that homosexuality is wrong.
Yes, it does. Is it a little bit like, well, That I could counter argue that by saying that surely if he's going to go all specific, surely, well, say for male gay marriage anyway, it would work that surely two penises trying to attack each other would repel each other because they can't enter, but a penis and an arsehole can, and that works.
You could go even broader than that and say, what if the positive on the magnet is humans and the negative is dogs?
That's true. So it's okay for bestiality.
You could use it.
But it's not okay for same
species. I mean, it is a bit... Well, like South African gay lifestyle website mambaonline.com slammed the interview saying it was absurd, which it is. It is... Hang on, what's this? It is debatable as to whether the embarrassing article is more damning of the standard of education at the University of Lagos or the standard of journalism at this day. This day are the ones who reported it.
Right.
And as fact, they said, oh,
I
look,
assume that's a Nigerian paper or something.
Yeah. So basically, or if it is damning for the standard of journalism at this day, the uncritical and uninformed article is likely to add to the ignorance and prejudice surrounding homosexuality in Nigeria, which is fair. I mean, Nigeria's laws on homosexual acts are notoriously harsh. Current legislation punishes homosexual acts with up to 14 years in jail, or in some northern regions of the country, death by stoning.
Really?
Still, in this day and age,
people still get stoned.
That's insane.
To death.
I mean, that article, I saw it and I was just like, yes. It's on Facebook. It's like this I fucking love science page on Facebook posted it. And I saw the article. I was like, they don't usually report on stuff like that. And I read it. I was like, that is brilliant.
There you go.
Like,
so
apparently, you know, if you're a fan of science and magnetism, then you've got to disagree with homosexuality.
This is true.
You have to.
Damn.
It's proven by science, and you have to. There's no other way to go about it.
Maybe we should renounce our feelings about gay marriage that we put out a few episodes ago and got praised for. I'm not going to.
I was going to say you can. I'm not. Fuck that.
No. We hear it anywhere but here. Don't believe
obviously
crackpot African scientists.
No, obviously we brought that article up as a for comical value more than anything.
We're not trying to offend anyone, except crazy African scientists who believe that gay people are like magnets.
And the University of Lagos who published the paper as factual findings.
I work with a bunch of people from Lagos. They don't seem like that kind of people. I think that.
I think the thing is they've moved away from Lagos, which kind of says why.
Maybe. I must say that some of the only news that I've kind of brought in today is political.
Oh, okay.
You know, we don't really do politics on. Well, we say we don't.
But we do quite often.
Quite a lot of political stuff because actually we do have our own political viewpoints.
Yeah, they're just not very well formed.
No, because we're not educated enough to actually bother. You know, looking into politics in general. But something that came up on the radar this week, Joe was saying that you know, again, she's not one to look out for politics or anything like that.
No, but sometimes stories kind of get quite a lot of attention, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They just come across your general news article sites.
And Ed Milliband, which is the leader of the Labour Party over here in the UK, he made a speech the other day that actually is like, if you can do this without going back on your word, like every other politician always does, that would be amazing, and it would probably make us vote for Labour, perhaps.
Well, it's going to make people vote for Labour whether, because they'll do it because of what he said, and then
that's right, because
he'll go back on it.
Basically, what he says that is if Labour wins at the next election, he's going to freeze energy bill prices
permanently
up until
or for 4 years, for
2017 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so
for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is good because energy bills just go up like a ridiculous amount.
Oh, it's crazy.
I mean, they're hard enough to understand. If he can bring in a fucking bill, I'm American. If he can bring in a thing that that tells energy companies to make energy prices more understandable,
Yeah.
I'd go for that. Because I don't understand them. There's no easy way to measure. Obviously, because like everything uses a different amount of power, they've kind of... Do you not find them confusing?
Yeah. Oh, massively. Yeah. I don't
Like for the
understand
first 1,000 kilowatts, we will price you at this much, and then it's kind of like, yeah, but how much is a kilowatt?
It boggles my mind. I don't know. I don't know how much power that is. Like how many hours of having lights on and stuff.
Yeah, it is one of those things, because lights use a lot less energy than your TV, so they can't say, oh, for this amount of time. If you've got something on for this amount of time, it's just so confusing. There needs to be a...
And also, like, my new TV has got eco settings, so someone else with the same TV might not have the eco settings.
So their version of the TV uses more power than yours.
So it's all relative.
I don't know, but freeze the prices, do it.
Yeah, I think that it's a good idea. He also said that he would extend the voting age to 16. Probably not the best idea, because people...
Yeah, the only reason they'll do that is because then you'll have more people going out and voting.
Yeah.
Because some 16 and 17-year-olds will go out and vote, whereas the 18-year-olds won't. I don't think that's a good idea.
No.
Based on even the bloody adults, which I'm putting in inverted commas, because that's just... Even the adults on my Facebook page, some of them I'm like, you really should not be allowed to vote.
No.
Not with those political views.
No, it's a little
All
bit
the
scary.
anti-Muslim and anti... Yeah, and I generally delete them.
We've
if
said
they
in the
keep
past
doing
about
it.
these people, and we
Yes.
tend to delete anyone who has kind of views like that, because it's just not conducive to
The country?
society as a whole.
Yeah.
He reckons that Labour would build 200,000 new homes by 2020.
I'll tell you what, why don't we knock down more schools to do that? That's happened in Maidstone. They knocked down a school to build homes.
Yeah, it's
Now,
ridiculous.
where are the children from those houses going to go to school? You're inviting more people into our town, but you're giving them nowhere to send their children to school.
Exactly, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Stop building houses.
Stop. We should go into like a Chinese government state where people are only allowed a certain amount of kids
Yeah.
to control the population.
Oh, that would be brilliant for some families.
Yeah. Because again, some people shouldn't be allowed to breed.
I'm sorry, at the moment he's only said one thing that I like.
But yeah, so, you know, but the big thing that people were taking away is this whole cost of living crisis.
Right.
And the fact that wages aren't going up to compensate for the inflation.
No, they're below inflation quite a bit. I think our work was like 0.5% above inflation. But only, that was meant to be 0.5% below.
Yeah.
But we said no, so then they put it up by another percentage point, I think. So we got 0.5% above inflation, which is like better than a lot of people got. Some people actually got nothing. But
I don't think I've had a... I can't remember the last time I had a raise.
we get one every year, but a majority of the time it's below inflation rates. And where I used to work, it was always in line with inflation. So...
Which is not as good.
No, you're not getting any extra, but at least you're not any worse off.
Yeah, true, I suppose. Although petrol's come back down again, I was going to say...
Ridiculously.
I found 129.
129, really?
At, if you go to the Tesco over in Rainham,
Yeah.
the big Tesco there.
For the local people.
For the local people.
We are reporting on petrol prices again to the world.
£1.29 a litre.
That's really good. I thought 132 was good when I went home last night.
£1.29.
Although
You're shopping around.
it's ridiculous, like the difference. Like one place was 132 and one was still like 137.
Yeah, I know.
That I drove past
That's
last
another
night.
thing that I don't understand. Like, why would you want your prices to be higher than the next nearest competitor?
Because what will happen, the people that have dropped it right down will have to boost it even more to make up for the difference. And the people that have kept it sort of high will either keep it high or drop it by a couple of pence to then get below. It all averages out over the year. But I've seen there's always two that I compare. One that always seems more expensive and one that's really cheap. And then eventually they kind of swap places and then they get in line with each other. But it depends where they buy the fuel. Anyway.
It's just bloody annoying. But yeah, so just for some local
Go to
consumer
Rainham
advice
to
there,
get
go
your
to
petrol.
Rainham Tesco's. But here's a bit of the speech. So I wanted to play this bit of the speech, and then there's another part of the speech which I think he kind of ran out of steam a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Here we go.
Take the gas and electric companies. We need successful energy companies in Britain. We need them to invest for the future. But you need to get a fair deal. And frankly, there will never be public consent for that investment unless you do get a fair deal. And the system is broken, and we're going to fix it. If we win that election in 2015, the next Labour government will freeze gas and electricity prices until the start of 2017.
And you can just hear the energy companies going, what? What? How will we afford our cigars and gold hats?
That's right. Just get to another war and he'll have to go back on his energy price promise.
He comes back on in a bit. They're a bit enthusiastic, this crowd.
Your bills will not rise. It will benefit millions of families and
Just to
millions of
reiterate the point.
businesses. That's what I mean by a government that fights for you. That's what I mean when I say Britain can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
Now,
What does that mean?
Well-
better than what we're doing now?
yeah, I suppose.
Not hard. I mean,
That's
we're
kind of-
recovering though. I mean,
Well, they say we are, but
Well-
then occasionally they say we're not.
it seems alright.
But
I mean,
yeah, he's quite, that was
Very
probably
positive.
the most energetic I've ever seen Ed Milliband.
yeah.
He doesn't often get overexcited when I've seen him on the news.
No,
before.
that's the thing. I think our American listeners have to understand. Our politicians are very reserved.
Very bland. They all go to the same schools.
They're like Eton.
Yeah, they're kind of, but then so are the ones from America. Really, they all go and they own.
I
the
think
businesses
Americans
and
are
all
just
that.
more passionate.
I think
more
they are. Yeah,
confident.
they've got. The thing is, they've got to kind of
they've got
kind
a
of
lot
fight
more people.
with a lot more entertainment as well.
Yeah, and they've got a lot more people that they have to kind of.
Kind of motivate into
Motivate to
action.
vote, yeah.
So and also if you've not seen Ed Milliband, I think you should Google him because he does look like an Aardman animation character.
Yes, he does.
He's got the kind of goggly eyes.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's made a little bit of plasticine. His mouth looks like Wallace's.
He's
as
a bit
well,
droopy.
A bit. Yeah. So if you've seen Wallace and Gromit,
He's got thumbprints all over his face.
But yeah, the whole thing about Britain can do better than this.
We can fix it.
Here's another section of the same speech where I think he's trying to make a point about it, but
You're not quite sure.
well, see
it's a
from
bit
this.
difficult to.
I want to start today with the simplest of thoughts. An idea that has inspired change for generations. The belief that helped drive us out of the Second World War and into that great reforming government of 1945.
Next
An
Churchill,
ambition
isn't
that
it?
is more important now than it's been for decades. An emotion that is felt across our country, at kitchen tables, every night. A feeling that is so threatening to those who want to keep things as they are. Words that are so basic and yet so powerful, so modest and yet so hard to believe. 6 simple words that say, Britain can do better than this. Britain can do better than this. We're Britain. We're better than this.
I wonder what Labour's next campaign slogan is going to be. Fuck's sake.
What does he mean?
I don't know. The one thing that I noticed about that is he's saying about he wants a government that we had like in 1946. The difference being, we had just won a world war.
But also we were in massive austerity because
There was a lot. But there was a lot to like. There was like we just won a war, so the whole country was like, we're on the up and up. We're great. We can do it. There was a lot.
We can
a better
rebuild.
feeling about the company, the country. We're coming out of a recession, not really comparable to a world war.
It's
is
this
it?
generation's war, though, isn't it? Because no one goes to war properly.
Got my fucking
nowadays
money.
with like
Yeah, but the thing is, the
drones
problem
and
is
shit.
people were like, oh, the government's great. They just won us a war. Now it's like the government sucks. They're not giving us our money.
Well, yeah, no, he's trying to kind of evoke a spirit of
A positive feeling towards the.
yeah. Do you remember the
government.
war? That thing we won.
No,
once.
because none of us were alive then.
70 years ago?
Maybe like 10% of the population might have
Yeah.
been. Like, you can't really use that I don't know.
But
I don't know.
If he can truly freeze energy bills without
That's
the
all
energy
he's got
company,
that's
but he
positive
can't
for
do
me.
it though because the energy companies are the ones that
Who
run
set
the
the
fucking
price? Yeah,
government.
I mean, you can
They're
put a-
self-regulating.
Yeah, that's true.
Essentially, I'm sure there are bills that could be laws that could be passed.
You done it as well.
Well, they are bills.
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
The only
I
thing
think
that
he'll
is-
find it very difficult to live up to that claim. That's
The only
what I'm
thing,
saying.
like really passionate, Britain can do better than this. If freezing energy prices, you're building more houses and you're allowing younger people to vote. It's not really the right slogan for that.
No.
They're not major things. Like, the only thing that is a positive for me is the energy prices. I suppose because I can already vote and I've got a house.
Yeah, maybe that.
We don't need more houses. I've got a kid that needs a school. I don't want her to have to change schools because they need to knock it down to build a new house.
But I think it's something to do with the aging population as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the ever expanding, isn't it? It's a
I mean,
I
who
don't know.
knows? These are ideas way above our station.
Let's go for another. Well, fuck it, let's carry on with the funny side of things.
Yeah, sure.
That
I mean,
was politics,
that's
but it was funny.
That's politics. I've tried to inject a bit of humour into that, but I've got another funny-ish politics story later.
Yeah, I've got,
so stay tuned for that.
Entertainment style one. Now you know the latest Miley Cyrus song.
Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, and you know
Yes.
the video. Have you heard the song?
No, I've seen the screenshot of her on a big wrecking ball.
Yeah, so a wrecking ball, which has hung in a university for 18 years, has been taken down following a spate of imitations by frolicking students swinging naked from the monument.
Brilliant.
A la Miley Cyrus.
Well done, Miley.
Yeah. It's pranksters. It's they've been making vines and
Right.
and like Instagram videos. Basically, there's this it's outside Grand Valley State University in Michigan. And it's an art piece that they've installed, and it's actually a wrecking ball that swings and it draws patterns in the sand when you swing it.
Oh, I
So,
get you. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh, I think I know that one.
yeah, so, but there's a picture of the actual person. There's the video. Yeah, and they've basically been climbing all over this sculpture and which is great fun. It's good fun.
Yeah.
But the university thing, obviously, it's indecency, it's
Well,
public
yeah,
indecency. So they've had to take it down, and they're hoping to put it up somewhere else,
Higher, perhaps.
maybe. But it's funny. But it is kind of sad because it's been there for a long time. It's been that's been the image for their university, I think, their big thing.
It's a big installation type thing.
But obviously the university don't want to get sued for public indecency or anything like that, so they've had to take it down. It was created in the 1970s by an American sculptor, and a spike attached to draw patterns in a sandpit below. Yeah. Oh, okay, here, this is what the head of the facility is at GVSU. We are reassessing the safety and structural integrity of the current installation and site. So they're not doing it for public indecency, they're doing it because we don't want to stop people doing it, but we don't want them to hurt themselves. So once we've made sure it's safe, we'll put it back and you can carry on.
It's the red tape brigade.
I mean, by the time they've put it back, it'll all blown over and nobody will care about it
anymore. No one will
anymore.
have remembered. It's like the whole twerking thing. I think everyone's over that now, aren't they? Are they?
Yeah. Well, did you take that story for Twitter about twerking?
No.
That's a good segue. Because Miley Cyrus is the twerker, isn't she?
Yeah.
You know, the white girl with no arse is imitating like a thing that's really... Didn't it used to be called popping, booty popping?
I think so, yeah.
But
a
it was
different thing
black
back
women with the
large
big
arse,
brown
ghetto
arses.
booties.
Yeah, we're ghetto booties. We're so fucking white. Right, so Joe actually did send us a story about twerking.
Oh, right.
From the
I must
Metro
have missed
website,
this.
yes. As you brought up, I brought up Miley Cyrus, and you actually said about twerking, which reminded me. Headline, I'm not going to fucking hide it.
All right.
73-year-old steals the show as twerking world record is broken.
I did see this.
You
Yeah.
did see it. Yeah, so,
Yeah, it was a world record attempt in Times Square, wasn't it?
yeah, New York.
City.
So I think it's the most...
the most people simultaneously twerking.
Yeah,
all
at least
once.
250 twerkers were required to break the record, but one dancer in particular stole the show, proving that age is no barrier to dance success. 73-year-old Joan Wind wowed the crowd with her moves. Let's hope she didn't have wind.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous.
After performing on stage, she revealed it was her first foray into twerking, really. She was just she just stumbled across the event while shopping at Macy's. She wasn't there. She wasn't there specifically to twerk, but she thought she'd join in.
Oh well, why not? Have a go. She's a have a go hero.
Brilliant. I just thought. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's funny.
Brilliant.
There's an image of Joan.
There she is, twerking away. Get in.
Go on.
Why not?
Brilliant. That is brilliant. But obviously we'll put links and stuff to that. Oh, there's no video. That's a shame. I'm sure we'll be able to find one somewhere.
Yeah, there must be. Because it's a world record event. There must be some video of it somewhere.
There's got to be evidence somewhere.
I actually, before I go on to my thing, I've just realised that there was a sidebar incident on one of my things. The president of Gambia has ranked homosexuality alongside obsession with power and greed as more deadly than all natural disasters put together.
Oh, really? Wow.
As we were saying, Africans not so homo friendly.
No, I'm just.
He was addressing the United Nations General Assembly when he said this.
Fuck.
And attacked gays and lesbians. President Yahya Jammeh called homosexuality one of the 3 biggest threats to human existence. Those who promote homosexuality want to put an end to human existence. It is becoming an epidemic, and we Muslims and Africans will fight to end this behaviour. Homosexuality in all its forms and manifestations, which through very evil, anti-human as well as anti-Allah, is being promoted as a human right by some powers.
Well, the Catholic Church has kind of turned around, so you might as well.
Yeah, so why not?
Like the Pope is kind of going, you know what, it is wrong, but let's just not focus on that.
Yeah, let's not make that our message.
Like it used to be.
The president of Gambia has decided to take it upon himself to attack all gay rights groups.
He likes the D.
But yeah, just it's ridiculous.
So that, along with like
and also
tsunamis and earthquakes,
Russia as well. Russia are against homosexuality too, aren't they?
Really?
Yeah. They've made it illegal to be homosexual, and you can be jailed for it.
That's just ridiculous.
I know. That's a westernised-ish country as well.
Well, yeah, you would have thought so. It was kind of heading that way, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. Can you believe these people in this day and age still have that kind of like...
But he is comparing it to like volcanic eruptions and
tsunamis.
Earthquakes and tsunamis and
like,
floods.
It's something that's going to eradicate the human species. It's not.
No.
Like...
Yes, they're not reproducing in the
Yeah.
traditional sense, but they are able to.
But some straight people don't reproduce,
No.
you know? Like,
Well, that is a very good point.
you know, it's fucking ridiculous. So, yeah.
Fuck's sake. Oh, the world is a ridiculous place.
The world is a ridiculous place. There's a lot of hate out there for
Stories
stuff
like
that really
this-
doesn't fucking matter, do you know?
Stories like this are one of the reasons we kind of went with our podcast title.
Yeah.
Like, they do make us go, I really like...
Rather be
would-
anywhere but here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on this planet
Yeah.
with these people.
We should make a colony somewhere else. Leave these people to rot.
Mars, we're close.
Yeah.
We're moving there.
Yes, we are. Yeah, they're looking for astronauts, which is what that
7-year-old
7-year-old
boy,
Dexter
yeah.
from last week was wanting to do. He wanted to go to Mars with
Yeah.
the people. Maybe he will one day. We still hope that he will. So yeah,
That's
more ridiculous claims in politics this week. UKIP MEP Godfrey Bloom he's had to resign this time.
Oh, they've made him resign.
Yeah, he's stepped down because this week he was on radio. He was on a radio show and made a harmless joke. And you might guess what's wrong with this, but just for some context for people who don't know what UKIP is, it's kind of a nationalist party in this country.
UK
They're not
independence
as
party, isn't it?
They're not as bad as the BNP or the National Front.
They're
who
not
are-
saying let's kick anyone who's English out of Great
No,
Britain.
they want to be free of the European Union and European central government and the human rights.
They're the big ones
organisation.
that oppose us joining
joining
or fully integrating into the EU.
you know, having the
taking
euro as opposed
currency,
to the
yeah.
pound and all the rest of it.
Which, in a way, I do want that. I don't
But-
want to fully integrate, but I don't want to completely
Yeah.
separate us.
Their problem is
I'm
that,
quite happy where we are now.
yeah,
in
their
the EU.
problem, UKIP's problem is that they have these mentals like Jeffrey Bloom or, I mean, even Robert Kilroy Silk, who was a TV show, like a talk show host.
Oh, Kilroy
over here.
is
Kilroy.
Oh, really?
was UKIP. Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not realise that.
Yeah, he was their leader at one point.
That's the thing. I know what a lot of. I know what they stand for.
Yeah.
Not totally what they stand for, but I don't follow politics enough to know that
Yeah.
there's like a massive TV personality.
Yeah.
Like,
I took a piss next to him once.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you
yeah,
look?
It was at Brands Hatch. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Did he look?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Speaking of which,
I wouldn't like to slander him.
I had that once. Quite recently, I was at it was like a kids' play park. You know, Cobtree Manor Park.
Yes.
They've done it up like really nice now.
Uh-huh.
And I was in the toilet, and then a guy came and stood next to me, and he was just. I mean, you know what it feels like when someone's just staring at you
Yeah.
incessantly.
Yeah, we'll get onto that in a bit.
But yeah, I kind of saw it at the corner of my eye, and he was just looking down at me. I was
Really? I don't think I've ever had
quite
that.
blatantly.
That's a bit scary.
Yeah, like people glance and you catch like head movements, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying not to look, but
Yeah.
sometimes. But this guy just, you should probably
Flat
be
out.
making sure you're not pissing on your shoes, mate. Don't pay attention to what I'm doing, please. But yeah, that was weird. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
ooh.
UKIP.
Yes, this guy Jeffrey Bloom.
Godfrey.
Godfrey, not Jeffrey. Sorry, Godfrey Bloom went on a radio show and said this. It was meant as a joke, but he's using an archaic term for something that it doesn't mean anymore.
Doesn't have the same meaning.
So have a listen to this. Oh, hold
Hang
on. What's with
I'll
that?
turn that up.
There's no
There's no volume on there. That's fine.
rubbish. Okay, just
We can turn it up.
yeah.
For when Godfrey gained his first European Parliament seat.
1 month.
And no, I too have never cleaned behind my fridge on paper.
Well, places for the sluts.
An awful lot of housework. But I do hold an HGV licence, allowing me to drive some of the biggest trucks in the country on the road. So I can definitely drive and park my car better than Mr. Blue.
Okay.
Barely make that out.
You couldn't
I didn't
really-
realise it was taken from. It was someone filming from an audience. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I
It
didn't
wasn't
realise that
actual
either.
audio.
But basically, I don't know whether you caught that. She said about not cleaning behind her fridge, and he said,
And through
this,
the laughter.
this place is full of sluts.
Yep.
Now, he didn't actually mean it in the way that sluts is meant today.
No, and the thing is, I hadn't actually heard the audio, I don't think.
No.
But when you put it in the context that she was saying, I don't clean behind my fridge, and then he said, this place is full of sluts,
Yeah.
like, there was nothing, he wasn't kind of like, you're a slut or anything
No,
like that.
no, not
So
at all, no.
Probably doesn't quite sound as bad as I thought it did. Would have
And
done.
he actually said, I made a joke and said, oh, well, you're all sluts. And everyone laughed and all the women laughed. There was a single woman in there who didn't laugh at the... Was there a single woman in there who didn't laugh at the joke? Now,
It was silly to say. It is one of those things you've got to be very careful.
Now, the thing slut, the term slut, actually originates from unclean
Yeah.
person, an unclean person.
Person.
Yeah, you are a slut if you are unclean. So the fact that she says that she doesn't clean behind her fridge means that she is a slut because she is unclean. She
It doesn't
has not
mean
cleaned
she's a
properly.
promiscuous
No, it doesn't
woman.
mean that she's a slag. And yeah, there's been a big furore over this, and he's effectively had to step down because it's not the first time Godfrey's done this kind of thing.
Yeah, this is where the trouble comes.
Only a few months ago, he was talking about I don't know whether it was in a conference or just in an interview about like essentially the amount of aid that we give foreign countries
Yeah.
when in fact we're in massive amounts of debts here.
Yes.
Like, why is it that we give billions and billions out to How can we possibly? I'll quote this.
Oh,
this is a
okay,
quote.
This isn't your.
This is not me. This is a quote. How we can possibly be giving £1 billion a month when we're in this sort of debt to bongo land is completely beyond me. Unquote.
And he said it in a video.
Yes. I don't have the video, unfortunately.
No.
The videos on this site aren't of that. But yeah, so bongo land, not really.
Not the best choice.
And he says that he regrets it and all that, and the fact that, you know, he basically, like, it's not a real country, so why are people upset by it? I'm not using a specific country, but it's like, yeah, but the term bongo is a little bit
Slightly racist.
Slight connotations of racism there.
I see his point, not in the use of the term bongo land, but yeah, it is ridiculous that our country is spending a lot of money elsewhere when we're in trouble. But you got to help people.
Yeah. And he's also, I've just read this other bit as well, where he rails against the the European Court of Human Rights for ruling that life sentences could not be handed down. So we're not allowed to give out life sentences. He said you can torture people to death, but you jolly well can't give them a full life sentence because that's against their human rights. We can't hang them because we're now a member of the European Union and it's embedded in the Treaty of Rome. It's a personal thing, but I'd hang the bastards myself. I do hope they would ask me to throw the rope over the beam because I'd be delighted to do so.
It's quite sad that he's had to step down, really.
I mean, this is the thing. Like, our politicians
funny.
might be a little bit bland, but we do have eccentricity on our side in certain places. It's kind of like Prince Philip. Like, what he gets away with saying is ridiculous. You know,
he is like fucking racist. I think he's aware of the fact he can get away with it as well now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the guy's in his 80s.
He's
give
nearly
it to him.
he's
It's like
nearly
that
there,
whole
isn't
thing
he?
of like where you catch your grandparents doing it and you're just like, oh, stop it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to say that.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, no, that's totally racist. You're not allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Not you shouldn't say that.
But he's gone to he tried to deny that that the comments in that video about bongo land were racist. He said, what's wrong with that? I'm not a wishy-washy Tory. And he was asked later not by UKIP not to repeat the words bongo in any further interview to do with it. Their party chairman said, we're asking Godfrey not to use this phrase again as it might be considered disparaging by members from other countries. However, foreign aid is extremely important debate that needs wider discussion. So they're like, yeah, he's not allowed to say it anymore, but essentially we all think the same thing.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, he's had to resign. He's stepped down.
Mad.
Probably.
Probably for the best
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the whole grand scheme of things.
Because as much as it's hilarious, it's probably not the best for foreign relations,
No.
especially if UKIP actually want to make a serious case for being a proper party at some point.
It's scary though, the amount of people on my Facebook timeline that have kind of supporting UKIP, and like there's a couple of BNP supporters on there, and I'm just like, whoa.
See,
I think there's been a few that I have deleted because they like, are banging on about it all the time. Not saying like BNP this, BNP that, but actually posting, like
Right.
reposting stuff from the BNP Facebook page, saying like, oh,
blimey.
saying about a woman in going shopping in as like there was this whole story that's completely made up, obviously, about a woman in a full-on burqa, like the whole lot going into Tesco and being offended by the woman wearing the Union flag
Right.
on her like a pin on her lapel, and then the guy in front obviously is a war veteran saying, oh, we fought so you could be in this country and blah, and it's a completely bollocks story. You know it's not true. And like people posting that and it's just kind of like, but it's not true.
Yeah, stop it.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Keep posting shit like that.
This is the thing, and
actually,
the thing is, UKIP isn't as far right as those other parties, like I said before. And actually, they make a fairly convincing argument, more convincing than the BNP and the National Front. But it is people like Godfrey Bloom who take it a little bit too far. Like,
they do have the extremists in their ranks.
but the main point, any nationalist party is going to fall foul of that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, they're a nationalist party. You know, they're always going to have a right wing agenda. They're always going to be based on some form of racism, whether it's out and out racism or whether it's, you know, your kind of comedy racism like that.
Your wishy-washy racism. The problem you got with people like that, have they what scares me about UKIP is they're doing this whole light-hearted, we just don't want to be part of the European Union and all this lot. But once they get into power, what the fuck are they going to do then? They have the potential, because they're a national party, they have the potential to go full-on BNP.
And they're representing the majority of the country as well by that point.
Yeah.
So whatever
scary.
You know,
it is scary.
be very, very careful when you vote is all we're going to say, I think.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say about extremists, I've got a news alert on my phone, but do you remember those? Do you remember those two guys that stabbed that soldier? Right in broad daylight. They've pleaded not guilty.
What?
Like, I didn't read the whole story. It was as I was on my way to work and I got a news alert. I was like, really?
But it's on hundreds of videos.
They pleaded not guilty.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's some fucking extremism and, I don't know.
Watch
Complete
out,
delusional.
DDL will be about.
Fuck's sake. Oh dear.
But talking about old people
and people staring incessantly.
Yes, we mentioned it a little bit earlier. We went out for a meal last night, didn't we?
We thought it was, we've been
first
going
time in
since
bloody
January.
ages.
You said it's 6 months, and then I realised we've actually only got 17 weeks until our year.
Yeah, it's been way more than that, I know.
It's been a long time coming. We actually decided to socialise
But
last
also,
night.
we've been friends for quite a few years as well. Like, it's not just since the
we've
beginning
never
of
been
this.
out for a meal.
No.
Very good point.
So, you and Liz and Joe and I, we all went out to a nice Italian restaurant.
It was really
in
nice.
Rochester.
It was
good
actually
place.
really
Don
nice.
Vincenzo's on Rochester High Street.
And I said to Liz when we got home as well, the other thing that I really like, really nice food, and I didn't feel stuffed.
That's right.
Like, sometimes you go out for a meal, and sometimes it's nice to have that stuffed feeling, but only when you go out for like a roast or a carvery. You go out for an Italian meal, and I was full up, but I wasn't feeling sick because I'd had too much.
Yeah, you weren't kind of uncomfortable on the
It
car.
was really, really good and really reasonable.
But, very busy as well, which is always the sign of a good restaurant.
Yeah.
Absolutely crammed.
And we were like 5-10 minutes late, but they still kept our table for us.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, always good.
But we were sat next to this elderly couple. They must have been, I don't know, up there in 70s, maybe 80s.
Yeah. He was 80s, I think.
He was easily older than she was, yeah. Tweed jacket, like proper old tweed jacket, beige Farrah slacks.
Yeah, he didn't take his jacket off when he was doing his meal, basically.
It was boiling in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're sat chatting away. We noticed that these two aren't really talking to each other, which I think
you've been together that long, you kind of run out of things to say to
what
each
else
other.
What else do you say? But they're out for a meal, and then all of a sudden our food comes out.
Yeah.
And I'd ordered a calzone, and this fucking thing was massive. I mean, if you imagine probably the width of a laptop, maybe.
Yeah, what was it, 17-inch screen, 15-inch screen?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Footprint of your laptop. Anyway, screen size. But yeah, it was fucking huge anyway.
And I can understand that people would stare.
Once.
But not stare the entire time you're eating something.
Now, the thing is,
having a conversation with your friends.
You might not have realised. As soon as we sat down and started talking, she started staring.
Oh, really?
From the minute we sat down and started talking.
Oh.
At first, I thought it was because she was offended because we were talking quite loudly. But it was loud in there, so you had to. It was
loud in there. You had to shout at each other.
But obviously, they were sat there with a quiet, empty table next to them. Then we sat down and started talking. I thought, oh shit, maybe we're being a bit too loud.
Oh.
But no, I don't think it was.
No, because like I say, she got fixated on my food.
Yeah. Then she kept looking around you to look at Joe.
Yeah. It
was weird.
Because as soon as I didn't realise as soon as we sat down that she was.
You were right next to her, so she was probably just out.
She was just off my peripheries. But as soon as I clocked her looking as soon as my food came out, and then I was aware from then on that she was looking.
From that moment, yeah.
Because you got that feeling of someone watching you. And also, she's right on the edge of my periphery, so I can kind of see.
You can see the head turn every so often.
And it was just a little bit kind of invasive.
Yeah, it wasn't glancing. It was
it was full on like staring.
I mean, it got to a point where me and Tom were kind of like, should we just grab their table and pull it towards us so they can join us?
We did make a bit of a joke, but I still think we should have done.
Yeah.
It's been like, do you want to come and join us?
I would have had to put like one hand on the table and then one hand on his chair so we could just move them both at the same time. You don't want to hurt them or like hit their legs.
No, of course not.
But yeah, that was so weird. It was very odd.
Yeah, but a very enjoyable evening out, I thought.
Yeah, it just added a little bit of extra comical value to the evening, I think.
And we were just like, well, there's something to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah. Another thing we need to talk about is where you're going.
Yes, yeah. I mentioned it a few weeks back now because it was supposed to be happening this weekend. I was supposed to be doing the 3 Peaks Challenge, which is climbing 3 mountains in the UK in the space of 24 hours.
Aren't they the 3 highest peaks in
the
the
three
UK?
highest peaks in the UK, yeah. So you've got Ben Nevis in Scotland, Scafell Pike in Derbyshire, and Snowdon in Wales. There is a 4th peak, but it's in Northern Ireland, and you can do 4 peaks, but we're not.
Is that 24 hours as well?
I would doubt it.
I was going to say, how can you do that?
But yeah,
or maybe
so
you take
I'm doing
a plane
that,
up to Scotland
maybe.
for that one.
I don't know.
To cut out some of the travel time, so then you've got time. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's not important.
But essentially, I'm doing it for the Kent Air Ambulance, which is a really good cause.
A very good cause.
It was between that and Demelza House, which is also
both
a very good
causes.
cause.
But you see a lot more people. I'm one of these people that's kind of like, when I do my charity runs, the 2 that I've done, I like to raise money for charities that don't get as much support as the others.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to run for cancer.
No.
There's so many cancer charities, and it's not that it's not a good cause.
No, that's right.
It's just there are specific events devoted to just cancer.
That's right,
Like
like
the
Race for Life.
Race for Life,
women.
which is only women.
Yeah.
You can't do that for men.
Sexist.
Because the women can do the like testicular cancer run for men, but men can't do the broad cancer run for women. Like there's specific reserved for women. But anyway, that's just a
bugbear.
That just does piss me off a lot. But yeah, lots of people run for charity. There's always cancer charities everywhere. So I always go for the lesser ones. So I think Demelza House in Kent specifically has a lot of people raise money for Demelza House.
It does, yeah.
And you don't see a lot for Kent Air Ambulance. And Kent Air Ambulance, I think, is a very, very worthy cause.
Yeah. I mean, it's helped my grandma out.
Yeah, I think it's my granddad. Yeah.
So it's something that has affected a member of my family and therefore me. And yeah, so that's who we're doing it for. We like I say, it was a toss up between 2, and we could only choose one, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully at some point there will be a Just Giving page. It should have been set up this week, but things have been very manic at work lately.
Yeah.
It should all be set up by Monday. So.
Keep an eye on our Facebook.
Keep an eye on the
Twitter.
Facebook. We'll post a link to that if you want to sponsor me for doing this, because it's gonna hurt.
It's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck.
There are
big time.
4 of us doing it and 1 driver. There were supposed to be 2 teams, but people dropped out at the last minute. So that's why the date's been moved around quite a few times. And we were trying to find replacement people, and then we were just like, fuck it, fuck them all. We're going to do it ourselves.
Yes.
The people who are actually dedicated, because the people, we've been signed up for this since February.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, people have dropped out because they've hurt their foot or because this, that, and
and
the other.
And you've moved it around so many times because of those people
Yeah.
that couldn't do it. And yeah, I think you guys organising it's just gone, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, basically.
Just the 4 of us then.
So there's going to be a car full of people and also equipment.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and we're supposed to sleep between these mountains, or those are the points at which we're supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's going to be not much sleep.
It's going to be difficult.
So we're leaving here at midnight. We're going to drive all the way up to Scotland. That should take, at that time of night, only about 8 hours, traffic permitting. Yeah. Then we've got a 5-hour climb and descent up Ben Nevis.
Is Ben Nevis the biggest?
Yeah. No, Snowdon's the biggest, but Ben Nevis takes the longest to climb.
Oh, okay.
Weirdly.
It's more awkward. Probably.
Then drive down to Derbyshire, climb Scarfell Pike, then go to Wales, climb that, and then come back. So I'm looking at being away from home for probably more than 24 hours. I'll probably make it back at some point on Sunday morning, which is why I can't really do this
No, we're not recording.
in 2 weeks' time.
We're not recording on Sunday.
No,
in 2
we're
weeks.
going to record another special episode for that, so you guys don't miss out on an Anywhere But Here, because we love you that much.
Because we've made it this far without missing one. We want to make it.
Yeah.
We felt like we've missed some because we haven't recorded some weeks, but we have pre-recorded episodes for those weeks.
Yes. So have a look on the website or the Facebook page and the Twitter page and all that, and I'll be putting a link up to the Just Giving page. It's all for a good cause, and it would be nice to receive some sort of money for it, because we're all going to suffer quite badly, I feel.
And I received my magazine from the London Marathon organisers that I didn't get a place. So any money that you were saving for me, donate it to Tom.
Yeah, all right then.
So, because I'm not doing it, so you don't have to donate for me.
Fair play. That sounds good.
I could get a guaranteed charity place, but then you have to raise a certain amount
Like
of money, and I
£1,000 or
don't
something,
think the
isn't it?
charity that I want was a couple of grand now. I think. Because understandably, because those people that have got the guaranteed charity places, they have like tents at the end, so you can have massages, and they organise specific events for the runners for them. So they're actually spending a lot of money for you to run for them. So
so they want a lot in return.
yeah, which is understandable.
Which is fair
and
enough,
they do
yeah.
deserve it, but I can't raise that kind of money. So I'm not going to go for a guaranteed charity place, and I don't think the charity that I want to run for has guaranteed places. Or if they do, they only have 2 or 3, and I don't want to take the place of someone that is able to raise a lot more
that's
money
right.
for them.
Yeah. Well,
And I don't want to do the training.
it is difficult.
Yeah.
I can imagine,
But-
having never done it.
No.
Shall we get on with the show? We'll do the,
Which were you pointing at?
ABCs, I suppose.
Yeah?
'Cause,
bugger balls.
We're coming up to the hour
Yes.
again.
Yep, and we've got to do the ABCs.
Indeed, it's that time of the show. The ABCs of ABH. What letters today?
V. Both panicked. It fucking left my mind. I was like,
Oh God, what
shit,
letter is it?
What was it? But I do have mine.
Yes.
I like mine.
How much mileage can you get out of yours? Is yours the
Not
one to? Is yours the one to go out on?
No, yours, because yours is fucking hilarious.
Righto.
Right, my one. I'm gonna
Stop
play
doing
something. I was gonna say, will you remember this? But you're going to remember it because it says the name of it right in the title. But I don't know if you ever watched it actually. But this is a TV program from when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I fucking loved it at the time, and I really want to watch it. And I have found out that a lot of the episodes are on YouTube. But it goes a little something like this. Once it's buffered. It was there loaded up.
It is a time when magic is more powerful than science, and only those who control the magic control destiny. They are the visionaries.
Yes.
Yes.
You remember this?
Yes, I had visionary characters.
I had a lot of
action scenes.
Yeah, and I also had the vehicles, things like that. But visionary, it was like medieval knights with magic in a futuristic world.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think it was American. I think they had it in America. They must have done it. It was one of those Japanimation things.
That's right. Yeah, the same animation style as the Transformers, I think.
Yeah,
isn't it?
and the premise was it was in the future. Like people had loads of technology and they could do lots of shit, but then obviously the world's resources got depleted.
Yeah.
So then they couldn't use the technology anymore, and everyone went back to regressed back to a medieval state.
Yeah.
Because I watched the opening of the first episode to make sure I had it right. But then a force greater than technology came around, and it was magic, which people didn't want to take on, and in the end they did. But you got these guys who are like in futuristic suits of armor.
Yep.
And eventually, in the end, there's a select group that receive this power, and on their chest plates they have like animals.
The emblem of the.
And then they can like I don't know if they like
think they
Pokemon they
came
cast
out
the animal
of-
out to help them, and the vehicles had like bigger animals
That's
like
right.
elephants and rhinos and
Yeah.
shit like that. It was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
really
so much fun.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, and it was one of those things I was panicking. And then the other week I was just kind of just thinking at work about old TV programs like you do when you're listening to the Nerd Church.
It goes music, films, TV programs.
Yeah.
You know.
And I just kind of went Visionaries. Visionaries. Oh,
V.
I'll save that. And it was just one of those things. I was like, that's brilliant, and I'd really want to watch it again. It's kind of like from the era of Transformers and Mask and Thundercats.
Yeah.
It was when like manga and anime
Was big
westernized
the first time round.
hugely westernized.
Yeah.
But for kids. Not the violent manga.
I might
but-
have to look up a couple of these
Yeah.
episodes later on myself.
It's just brilliant. I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
And I thought
no,
it's a
they
brilliant
were
one to bring in.
wicked.
They had these staffs as well, didn't they? Those
Yes,
staffs.
yeah,
Which
well,
in here
like-
they're kind of silver, but the staffs you got with your characters were golden sort of
Yes,
colour,
they were.
weren't they?
Yeah, and they had holograms in
But
them
it
as
was,
well.
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
they?
the toys had like holograms
Yeah.
of like the
Yeah.
animals. It was brilliant.
They were
I
great.
fucking loved it. Yeah, there's my V.
Yeah, go and check out Visionaries on
Winner.
YouTube. Winner.
Yeah.
My one's a little bit bittersweet this week.
Yeah, I think we'll go out
on this.
on his.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, my V is vagrants, and that might seem like a strange choice to people, but if you live, I think most towns in this country, probably all around
Everywhere,
the world,
I would imagine,
have
everywhere.
their own specific vagrants, tramps, hobos, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, everywhere has tramps and hobos, but I think it takes a special.
But certain ones are like they almost bring something to the town that they live in, like not just there to beg or
They will talk to you, and they're really nice people.
Yeah,
and-
because some of them have lived a life, man. Like,
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
this
yeah.
one in High Wycombe where I went to university. I will at one point stop mentioning the fact that I went to university because it's
Why?
been pointed out to me
But a
that
lot
all
of-
my stories are from university.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff happened to you at
Yeah,
university.
exactly. I lived
so
a life at university,
You say a couple of years ago, you might as well say at uni.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, a specific point in my life.
If you are
essentially,
pissed off with Tom keeps saying about uni, just email us or comment or something.
If you don't like something about the show, take our survey.
Yeah.
Tell us what we should and shouldn't be doing. abhpod.com. But there was this guy, because in Maidstone we've got a couple who are...
Yeah, I just remember one as you said it. There was a guy, I don't think he had a license for like being a street performer, but he always did. He was a guy, he had like a short, he was quite a young guy, he had like a cropped haircut, and he always wore like a plaid shirt, because they always do, because they're warm, I suppose.
Well,
but
yeah.
he always carried a guitar around with him as well, and he was really talented guitar player and singer.
Yeah,
But he was a vagrant. He was a
Yeah.
homeless guy.
exactly. Yeah, and the term vagrant
But
actually...
he used to come up to you and say, "Can I have a couple of quid to buy myself a beer?" He was honest.
Yeah, and you kind of don't mind that, do you?
No, it's when they go, "Oh, you got 20p for a coffee," and you give them
then
it, and then they pop off to the off license, come
Get
out
the
with a
can of special brew.
and you're like, "Just tell me you want a beer."
Yeah, come on. Or you get these people who give them money based on the fact that, you make sure you go and get some food. Don't give them money if you don't know what they're going to get.
There was a
you
woman
know?
I used to work with. She would, when they'd ask for money, she'd go, "I'll go and buy you a sandwich if you want." And they go, "No, I'm all right." And she goes, "Well, I'm not going to give you any money."
Yeah,
and just walk
that's,
off.
Again, fair enough. You
And
know.
Liz, actually in town the other day, Liz saw one, and it was the other day. It might have been beginning of the year. It was quite cold, and Liz felt really sorry for him. And she popped into a coffee shop and got him a hot chocolate, and he was just so grateful for it.
This is it. You know, they're not there through their own choice. You know, and some of them
They've
don't.
fallen into the drunkenness. That's the thing.
Yeah, there was this one in High Wycombe anyway. The one that I'm going to talk about. His name was weirdly. His name was Carrot, and he's a ginger man.
That would be.
Hence Carrot, I suppose. I never knew his real name, but he apparently at one point was quite well to do, and he had a good job and all the rest of it, and just somehow fell into a spiral of debt and ended up on the street. His family disowned him, although he did still see his mum occasionally, but she wouldn't have him back in the house or something. There was something.
There would
a bit
be
weird
something
going on
else there, yeah.
but he was one of those ones. He was constantly entertaining the students. He was always in a state of permanent pissness. And because you met him once or twice. didn't you,
I saw him when I went to High Wycombe to visit you. Yeah, he walked past and
he's a character. He used to hang around near the Cash Point, funnily enough, on the way to the Union and outside the Weatherspoons. So
because students probably just used to chuck him.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he wouldn't just beg for it. Like he would perform songs.
Yeah.
And he would also improvise. He was really good harmonica player.
Yeah.
But he would improvise music to whatever you would ask him to write a song about.
Oh, so you give him a subject.
Yeah. And it would always be around the blues scale because it's harmonica playing.
Well, that's
you
all
can
there.
you can make stuff up to blues music, But I want to go out on one of the songs that made it onto YouTube, and I may put this up on the website because
I'll definitely put it on the end of the video.
Yeah, I found out a couple of years ago that actually Carrot passed away, and I think it was in just one of those really cold winters we had a few years back, and it just finished him off.
Which is really sad.
Yeah, very sad. Because
like,
as much as he was a bum, and he was a bit of an alcoholic.
He was a part of your uni experience.
He was part of High Wycombe for a lot of people who lived there. You always saw people kind of gathered around him and giving him money for songs and stuff. And yeah, you were probably feeding his addiction, but it was getting him through.
But the thing is,
but he was never abusive. He was never
no.
He was never kind of, if you said no, he wouldn't go, go on. He wouldn't chase you up after. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't forceful about it. He was actually quite a nice person. And like I say, at one point, he was a successful person who just happened to lose everything. So it was very sad. But I'm going to leave with a song that is immortalised on YouTube. And it's...
brilliant.
Yeah. I don't think I'm even gonna give an intro to it because it kind of explains itself. So for Anywhere But Here this week, I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you go. I love your fanny fuss. I love your fanny fuss. I love your fanny fuss. It made me giggle. I love your fanny fuss. It made me laugh. Fanny fuss. That one.